Welcome to your daily focus for April the 12th, 2022. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. We have an extraordinary day for energy. And it's one that we will be feeling for a little bit. So do not think that it's all going to be happening today, but today is at its peak. But we're not going to start there. We're going to start with the numerology, of course. So we have the 12 energy. The 12 energy is about pulling it back, thinking it through, being in the moment, understanding where we need to give up control or surrender to something, compromise. It's about thinking things through and coming to strong decisions that were well thought out with your sage wisdom, with your intuition combined, not rushing into things. Being in the moment, most importantly. 1 plus 2 is a 3. That is a beautiful, divine, creative energy. It's about birth, rebirth, creating, inventing, planting the seed, stepping into the dream, the potential. If we do the numerology of the day, it's a 13. 13s are about change, release, transformation. So we adopt new habits, new behaviors, let old ones stay in the past. Replace a bad habit with a good habit, perhaps. Transformation. Change could be changing relationships, environments, thought processes, beliefs, jobs, communities, yourself in some way, maybe your health, your well-being, your spirituality, your strength, your courage, your belief in you. Release is very much about letting go. Now, 1 plus 3 is a 4. And that's about getting things in order, analyzing those things, understanding where balance needs to be in our life, building that balance, putting down the foundation. It could be very much about home and family as well. Sun is in Aries. Moon, I think by, I don't know, a little after breakfast, but way before noon for me. The moon will move into Virgo, so out of Leo and into Virgo. So it is about getting our ducks in a row. It is about organization and planning. Everything in its place, and every place has its thing, whatever that saying may be. It's about understanding what has value, what doesn't have value. And it's about our relationships, absolutely. But we have Jupiter and Neptune coming together in the sky. Now, I'm not going to go into all the how long it has been, the importance of this transit and why it's so rare. I did that all in the April video, so a glance into April. I think I said it, maybe within the first third, I think I was talking about that kind of stuff. So you don't have to listen to it long, but I do invite you to go back and listen to a little bit of it if you want to know the background of it. But trust me when I say it's a beautiful and magical time in our lives. Now, it can also bring in, there is a shadow side, but there is to everything, right? There's always an opposite. I like to concentrate more on the positive things we can do and maybe give you a little bit of a warning of the things that we need to be aware of and to look out for. Maybe within ourselves, but definitely within the world around us. I believe it's at 23 degrees. And that's a 5 energy. That's about bringing in joy and happiness, laughter, giggles into our lives. It's about creativity. Standing in our own independence, knowing that we've got this, having a belief in ourselves, a confidence in ourselves. So Neptune and Jupiter come together in the sky in Pisces at 23 degrees. So our planet of dreams mixes or gets together with the planet of expansion, of luck. So what's your dream? What's your goal? What's your desire? What are you inviting into today? This could mean new travel for you, adventure for you. This is you find a new spiritual group to join into. Listening to your intuition is of the utmost importance. And we will be able to tap into that intuition so easily under this transit. Now, a little bit of the shadow side is that we'll only see what we want to see sometimes. We'll buy into the illusion. So scams, conspiracy theories, absolutely, cults. Watch, if it's too good to be true, chances are it is. So that's where that 12 energy comes so strong for us today, where we need to back it up, to think it through, to investigate perhaps. 4 is all about investigation, understanding what we were saying yes and no to. So do not allow to be deceived. Do not use deception to get what you want either. Standing within our integrity increases your success tenfold. Absolutely. Well, probably more than that. And we could get too adventurous. We could get too optimistic. We could put on those rose-colored glasses and say, it's going to work. It's okay. And it's not, because you're not looking at the problematic areas that perhaps if you look at them now, they're small. Maybe later on when you run right into them, they've grown for you, the problematic areas. So being aware of them, being conscious of them. So back it up as much as you can today. Back it up. It's going to be hard. We'll want to run forward. We'll want to embrace our dreams, our desires, our goals. This is a beautiful time to pay attention to your dreams, waking and sleeping. Do a dream journal. I heard one person say, regardless of if you had a dream or not, you tell yourself the night before that you're going to remember your dream. And then you wake up in the morning and you write. Maybe it is a dream that you remember, but if it's not, then write something, just something. A red rose. Done. At least you wrote something. The first thing that comes to mind. Don't think it through. Don't analyze it. Don't edit it. Just write it down. And it does open up the energy to remember and recall your dreams much easier if you practice this, because what you are doing is you are teaching your brain that when you wake up, you're going to be writing down your dreams. You start to believe that you are remembering your dreams. The dreams then stick a little bit better. You ever wake up and you just know you had the most awesome dream in the world and you can't remember one little thing about it? They vanish very quickly. And people always tell me, I had this dream about 5 years ago of, my mother and my father and a child coming to me and standing at my bedside. You do not remember your dreams that long unless they were real. So that's how you know if it's fact or fiction. If it doesn't stay with you, then it was just a dream of your want for them to be maybe standing there. But if you remember it, it was them. Bringing you comfort, bringing you happiness, saying hello. We're also more likely to take people at their word. We'll want to believe them. We'll want to believe that people just couldn't lie to us even if they tried. And we'll want to believe, look at what jumps out. I kid you not. The 9 of Cups jumps out here as I'm jabbering away, probably to get me back on track about your dreams, your goals, your desires. The Nine of Cups. Have you written down 9 dreams? Nine goals, nine wishes, 9 wants in your life. Maybe one has to do with your health, another your well-being. Maybe it has to do with work, career. Maybe it is about travel. Maybe it is about education that you want to bring in. Maybe it is an entrepreneurship of some sort that you want to start. Make those wishes, make those dreams. Wow, write them down. Absolutely. And then try and put them in a place where you will remember them over and over and over again. What is in the glass mirror behind us? It's our tomorrow. And we can bring that into reality today. It's that kind of energy. And the beautiful 9. Oh, look at who is at the bottom. I kid you not, the Fool. I had to show you. Because I've been waiting for the Fool to come. And look at that. I go, oh my gosh, there he is now. But I was still shuffling, so he doesn't count. I actually went into my deck and looked for him because he hadn't been out in so long. I wanted to make sure that, the card didn't fall out by, things happen. I'm human, so things happen. I thought, did I lose a card? I couldn't have lost the Fool. And I didn't. He was there. Just hasn't wanted to make an appearance until just this very moment. Also, it's very water energy, and water energy is emotion. So if you are an empath, or you're very sensitive to other people's emotions or even energies around you, maybe it's noises and sounds that you hear a lot louder than everybody else. It cringes you a little bit more than everybody else. Whatever you may be sensitive to, your sensuality, all that comes into play. So yes, we will be more emotional. I have a very emotional day tomorrow. I already know it. And that's cool. So if I'm not here, it's just, how you get very emotional and then you're so tired after because it just drains you. So that might happen tomorrow. I might not be here. So if you want, we could talk about, the 13 energy. Well, we've already talked about the 13 energy. The only thing that's different is Pluto. I think Pluto and Mars are getting along. And they're having a conversation. So where you think that today is very much a dreamy kind of energy, do not worry, because we have that coming in to give us kind of a goal-directed energy, and we'll want to work towards our goals, our dreams, our desires with Mars and Pluto talking. We also have today Saturn. I'm pretty sure it's Saturn. Saturn and the Sun. They're getting along. So that gives us patience and perseverance and a strong work ethic as well. So all you have to do is center on your goal, your dream, your desire, and start to say, I'm going to start taking steps in that direction, because, wow, the energy that surrounds that goal, that dream, that desire is undeniably beautiful. Now, we don't want to get overly optimistic. We want to stay grounded. We want to use that 12 energy to think it through, to back it up a little bit. But it's okay to get excited. Absolutely. We just don't want to go over the edge excited to the point where we'll believe only what we want to believe. We'll shut off everything else. We'll put our little blinders on. The rainbow sunglasses come on, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful world. And when you're going to miss those little hurdles and pitfalls that you can easily take care of right now in your life, but they might be a challenge down the road if you plan on ignoring them now. So you don't want to ignore them because they're easy right now to just kind of take care of business, move on. We don't want to give it an energy to grow into something that we really have to change our focus and apply ourselves only to that struggle, that challenge, that chaos, that lesson that we must walk through. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say, shall we? I've jabbered on enough. Oh my goodness, that was weird how the cards just went there. I should have the camera on them. Okay, here we go. The Magician, oh my gosh. So when the Magician is in the first place, with me at least, when I do a reading and the Magician comes out, yes, the Magician is wonderful and we'll get to that. But when it's in the first place, you have to remember that He's the trickster. If you go to see a magician, what is he doing? He's pulling a rabbit out of the hat, coin out from behind your ear. He makes things just disappear in thin air. The illusionist. So be careful of people deceiving you, of buying into something too easily, of getting scammed in some way. If it's too good to be true, chances are it is. But right now is when the impossible can become possible. So we want to believe. So it's a fine line we have to walk. So use your intuition. Yes, use your sage wisdom, but our intuition will guide us so wisely right now if we allow it. So we have the magician here reaching up to the sky, sending our dreams, our hopes, our wants upwards. And then an arm down. Arm down. I just didn't know if I was going to knock anything over there. An arm down. Bringing it in. Okay, so bringing it down to make it a reality in your life. He's asking you, what do you want? Tell us about it. Describe it. Feel it. Feel the energy of it. The emotion of it. Because it's water-based energy we're in. Feel the emotion of it. What do you want? Oh, we didn't check the bottom card. Oh, the death card. The 13 energy comes upon us. So, once again, change, release, transformation. Now, I love the way the artist does this card because there we are. We're sitting on that skull. We've got a black cloak on us, so we're pulled in. We've pulled ourselves away, perhaps from a dream, a desire, maybe a relationship that we're afraid to really commit to. Maybe it's a career path that we're afraid to commit to. Maybe it's putting ourselves out there that we are afraid of, so we hide ourselves from others. We've got that sword there. We are ready to defend ourselves. But over closer to me, by my thumb here, is our inner child sitting there patiently waiting for us to remove that cloak. And look at us transcending there, being free, liberated. So it's about allowing that change, that transformation to come into our life. It's about us laying down that sword and taking off that cloak. And gosh golly gee, it's going to be scary, right? Absolutely. There's a fear of the unknown. If I take off this cloak, maybe they'll laugh. Maybe they'll shun me. Maybe they'll push me away. Maybe they won't love me. But you got to do what's right for you, for that inner child within you. For that freedom, that passion, that desire that you want to explode out to the world. Maybe that's your talents and gifts. Maybe that's just your passion and joy, your love, the freedom, the liberation. I've got the Six of Pentacles next. So this is about understanding where we do not have balance within our relationships. And relationships is a two-way street, right? It's about a give and a take. So pay attention to who's taking. Pay attention to who's giving. And pay attention to who you are within that relationship. Are you the giver or the taker? And how do you bring the balance in? Is it time for you to start giving a little bit more in relationships or a certain relationship? Because each relationship is different. True, so we can't just bulk them together. So maybe we do need to look at our relationships with our families, with our friends, with our coworkers, with our neighbors, with the world at large. Is there somebody who's always coming around to you when they need a handout or a helping hand, but they can never be found when you need one? Or are you that person? And what steps do you need to take? Do you need to have a conversation with that person? Do you just need to say no? That's going to be a really big thing, learning to say no. The Page of Wands. Well, the Page of Wands sure has been coming out saying, listen, The world's your oyster right now. The landscape is completely barren of anything. You can put anything there and it's going to look better. So what do you want to do? Even if it's something little, you've got the opportunity right now to add beauty in your life, laughter in your life, joy in your life. And look at us contemplating it. Maybe we're giving thanks for where we are, that we even can take this journey forward. And yes, you can. Each of us will be a different journey, but we all have the privilege to step into this. Now, we do have free will. We don't have to. I strongly advise you to, though. Maybe we're giving thanks, or maybe we are asking for protection, for answers, for clarity, for direction, for support, for love. But this is where you need to just imagine your tomorrow and what's it going to look like. I just need a sip of water. I'm talking here too much. Life is a beautiful ride. See, I've got all this stuff, right? Every day is a fresh start. Dream and the world will conspire with you to make it so, I think it says, actually. Dream and the world will conspire to make it so. So what kind of affirmations do you have around you, reminding you just how beautiful you are, how beautiful your path can be going forward if you choose to make it look like that, if you choose to step into it. Look at this, the devil. The phoenix rising out of the ashes. This is where we cut the strings. Maybe it's to somebody who zaps our energy or our time or our resources. So ask Archangel Michael to come down with his mighty sword and just cut away. That connection, that energy connection. Maybe it's a connection to something else. Maybe it's a habit or a behavior. Maybe you have a habit or a behavior, we all do, that really we shouldn't have. We know better, but we do it. And it's time to replace that habit or behavior with a new one. So maybe we're changing our routines in some way. Trust me, things will become adventures, marvelous experiences, mystical moments is what I'm hearing. So pay attention. Expect the magic and the miracle to come into your life. So the devil is here, and the devil, it's kind of like, I had one deck, and it kind of showed the devil sitting there, and as a puppeteer, and the fool was the puppet, and we're the fool in the deck, right? That's what the fool represents. So it was like cutting those strings away. Where are we puppets now? Where are we puppets in society? It's very easy to subliminally or hypnotize, or just by constantly playing that commercial over and over again over a 30-minute period, all of a sudden you're thinking in that direction. You're being told over and over and over again without you even realizing that you are the billboard that you passed, the commercial that was on the radio. Now you're watching a movie and it comes on the TV or whatever. You open up a magazine, the newspaper, there's that ad again. You're scrolling through Facebook, there's that ad again. And when you see it enough time, what happens is our brain starts to say, oh, it must be okay, because we've seen that a lot and there's been no harm. And so we pay a little bit more attention. And then pretty soon we're opening up our pocketbooks and we're saying, here. I believe in you. I want to be like that. So where is that happening in our life? What kind of cords do we need to cut away there? We need Archangel Michael to come down with his mighty sword and just release us. This is about transformation. This is about death and rebirth. And maybe some of you, especially if you have, I think it's water signs, And if you're at like 22, 23, 24 degrees of water signs especially, you're going to feel this immensely. So what planets you have and where you have them will play a part. So, go on and there's like 101 sites that you can go on and just get your free birth chart and then interpretation of some of it. Pay attention to what planets that you do have in different signs and how that might affect you during this transit, because and it should be wonderful things, but we need to go into it with our eyes open. We need to be grounded. Therefore, turn to that 4 energy, the 13 energy, the 4 energy. We had 13, did we not? Maybe that was the bottom card. Look at this, the 8 of Swords. The perception changes. Well, we had a glimpse of the Fool, but he didn't come and make a stay. He's saying, I'm just right around the corner. So if you're not ready for that new beginning, don't worry about it. If you're still trying to imagine what you truly want to step into, don't worry about it. There's no time limits here. The thing is to dream it, journal it, talk about it with yourself, meditate on it. 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords. Here we are. We think we are trapped. We can't go any further. There's a jail cell made with swords around us. There's no way we can make it to the castle. But you know what? Our hands weren't tied. So even though we have this blindfold on, so we can't see how imprisoned we are, we can rip it off. And when we decide to rip off that blindfold, there is a truth that comes in, an understanding, a clarity. And you can even do that as a meditation. See yourself sitting there. And you're totally protected and you're totally safe, but you are sitting there with the blindfold on. And you want to see the knowledge, the wisdom. And take that blindfold off. Maybe it'll just be something very small. Maybe you'll get nothing. Maybe you'll have to do it a few times. Maybe you hear something. Maybe it asks you to walk down a path. The language doesn't always come through the same way. They may show you a scene of something. And then think about that scene and what it means to you. Maybe they'll show you a path or a door. Just a door. Pay attention to the door. The door may be giving you things. Unless you take the time to contemplate it, to think it through, of course you're not going to get it. It's like sitting down for a mystery and they go, oh, by the way, so-and-so did it just before you start. You have to think it through. They're not going to just give you the answer sometimes. They're going to make you think it through. Walk through it. Try and understand what they're saying so that you can hear them better the next time and the time after that. But I'm getting off subject here. This is about realizing that you were never trapped. That we were caught within an illusion. So maybe your parents told you that you had to grow up, get married, have children, keep house. Maybe your parents told you that you had to go out and you had to work until you could get that retirement package. Maybe a teacher told you that you had to apply yourself to mathematics because you were exceptional at it. And even though I remember my son, he would do integers in his head when he was a child to fall asleep at night. The autistic mind is a fabulous thing. And I actually did. I was trying to push him towards math. And he was like, just because I like math, or just because I can do integers doesn't mean I like math. It just happens, Mom. So I was like, okay, I get it now. But so maybe somebody has pushed you off of a path. One that you desperately wanted to be on. It called you all these years or all these days, or it's just being awakened in you now. And this is where we see, where we have allowed somebody else's opinion of our path forward to affect our actual path forward to the here and now. So where may that have happened to you? Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Maybe you should be a nurse, or maybe you should be a teacher, or maybe you should, oh, this would be good for you. And if you're just going to be like that, maybe you should become a police officer, a firefighter. And maybe it's been ingrained in you without you even knowing it. You know, you like long trips, so you should be a long distance truck driver then. You know, you should go get your life. And all of a sudden you find yourself there, and it's not exactly what you imagined at all when you were talking about going on trips. It does nothing for your passion. So it's about getting to know where we stayed trapped by our own doing because of a misplaced belief, a lack of belief in ourselves, perhaps, where somebody gave their opinion and we took it as gospel and lived our life in that way. And we all have done it. So we do have that 12 energy today. And that 12 energy is telling us to just pull it back a little bit and think it through. There's no rush. There's no, first one to the finish line wins. We all can be winners. There's enough for everybody. I promise you that. There's enough for everybody. And then some. There's more than enough time. There's more than enough energy. There's more than enough resources. Do not worry about any of that. Just what is your dream? What is your goal? What do you want to step into? Okay, a mantra card. Enlightenment. Pursue spiritual growth. Pursue spiritual growth. And it's definitely Neptune and Jupiter coming together in Pisces is definitely a beautiful energy where we can work on our spiritual growth. Maybe it's through astrology and numerology. Maybe it's tarot. Maybe it's clairvoyance, maybe it's telepathy, whatever it may be, remote viewing, lucid dreaming, whatever you may, Reiki, yoga, whatever it may be for you, that brings you with the divine, with God, your angels, your spirit guides, perhaps. Enlightenment. And allow that light. And I think I was talking about, so what's the date? The 12th, not the 11th, it wasn't the 10th. I think on the 8th, I was talking about these scientists and how they were measuring light. And it's 20 light beams per second that the average human gives off. Anyways, I won't go into it. It's on the video of the 10th, but if you look in the comments, Karen was so amazing to post, not only on YouTube, but in Patreon, the actual study that I was referring to. So... And you are going to see more and more of science and spirituality coming together. Science, understanding spirituality, it enhancing the scientific world. Go on now. You were fed. You were let out. You should be more than happy. So go on, Milo. No, you gotta go. Enlightenment. Pursue spiritual growth. You have come into your own and are in search of something more meaningful to add to your life. Now is the time to meditate, to deliberate, to self-evaluate, maybe withdraw voluntarily from the world and seek the truth in solitude. Rest, a quiet retreat away, something from a break of a daily routine will allow you to consider enlightened decisions and go in the direction of your heart. This is a good time perhaps to seek advice and spiritual guidance from a mentor or an experienced person. The mantra is, I search for wisdom and mental clarity, but it's definitely a time to meditate, deliberate, self-evaluate, and maybe even withdraw voluntarily from the world, maybe break up our routines in some way, in some form, so that we can rip that blindfold off and we can see where we have put our own glass ceiling, where we have actually entrapped ourselves on going forward. And once we figure it out, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you. So it's worth it to take a little bit of time and deliberate, to think it through, to meditate on it. Absolutely. Okay, we'll get an animal, and of course I'm going to do a Journey of Love card. I did 5 cards for this one. I don't think I'm going to be here tomorrow. But really the energy is just more about grounding us and giving us more of a goal-directed energy to work with. So maybe it's tomorrow that we actually sit down with that piece of paper and actually, or maybe we do it today and we just do a couple of bullets of things that we want to walk into. And then tomorrow we kind of start writing out the goal plan, the strategy, the steps we may have to take. Could be as easy as that. Oh, okay. It's saying I'm supposed to do it that way, so I will. Look at this. Find your identity. There's our little raccoon. I had a pet raccoon. Won't go into that either, but his name was Rocky. He was so cool. I was working for a place, and everybody was coming in all day saying, "Well, I almost had a raccoon on the way in." And I thought, and this is going on for hours, like my whole shift. So of course I had to go and see why this raccoon was just sitting there on the side of the road all day. And I found this little baby that obviously got moved. They were tearing down a forested area, and obviously Mom lost him in the process, and I found him. So I raised him. My dad taught me how to raise him properly so we could let him go back into the wild. He was a wild animal, and I had to be respectful of that. That's one of the first things I learned about him. But he was I would call him out. I don't know where he would be, but I would call for him. I go, "Hey, Rocky," and I'd be on my bicycle, and he'd climb up my jeans. I always made sure I had jeans on, because if I didn't have jeans on, he crawled up anyways. And he'd sit on my shoulder, and we'd go for a bike ride together. And if people would come over just to pet the raccoon, it was like a cool thing, right? Hiding, mirror, right, and destiny. A person often meets his destiny on the road he took to avoid it. Raccoon tells you may be hiding from your true self, and too often we lose our identity. It can be connected to career, love relationships, friendships. Relationships are a mirror of who we are at the time, and if your self-esteem is low and sad, you will attract the same. On the outside, the person or situation may be perceived as the life of the party, but inside they are crying with confusion. It is never good to create relationships out of illusions and treat them as a patch or quick fix for anything that you don't have in your life. They are supposed to be a complement to who you are and help you grow. Both of you grow, or all of you, if you're taking it in the context of friends and coworkers and career. Now, that doesn't mean, boys, settle down. Oh, they're being bad, huh? And all they want to do is go cuddle. It's cuddle time. I've been running late all day, so it's cuddle time for them. That's what they're upset about. So they've been fed. They've been out. They want to go cuddle. Now, that doesn't mean you have to hermit yourself away and figure it all out. It means that you need to work on healing yourself and become the person that you want to invite into your life. No matter what disappointment you have had in your life, you cannot forget to celebrate who you are. When that job promotion doesn't come through, or that person you hoped was the love of your life just leaves, it's easy to get caught up in the negativity of despair. But it means that you aren't in the right spot in your life to attract what you want. So, take the time to change it. And we'll go over to a Journey of Love card, because I just think that the energy of, I hope you just don't watch this once because you'll miss things. And I definitely implore upon you to go back to A Glance of April. And I talked about this conjunction, and I gave different facts in it than I am now. More facts, different facts. And explain the energy, maybe a little more of a Reader Digest form for you. This might be too long, but this energy just doesn't come in a day and then leave again. And we'll be feeling this until maybe the 17th, the 23rd, the 24th. But really, this energy really stays until Jupiter goes and meets the next planet, right? And even then, it's got the vibration of it. It's a very strong meeting of our planets, and it does change things because it's two of our, and not just in our personal lives, but we'll see it in the world. Absolutely, we'll see it in the world. So pay attention to what they're showing you and telling you and reporting to you, and what you're seeing with your own eyes and experiencing with your own life, your own path. Look at this 52, the ancient ones. The ancient ones. Okay. I always read the poem first for those of you who are a little newer here, and welcome if you are. And thank you if you are a longtime viewer. Here's wishing you some sunshine the day after the rain. Here's a hug of understanding when life seems filled with pain. Here's knowing that emotion, like wind, blows many ways. And of course, we'll see more certain with the dawn of each new day. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as of yet. Though they love you, it's most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space and cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds, where all true spiritual growth begins. So the ancient ones reach out to you and bring this message. We see you, beloved. We honor your growth. It is real, and it will soon manifest fully into the physical world with breathtaking beauty. We honor your light. Namaste. This oracle brings guidance that you have taken a leap in personal growth. If you're still testing it in the physical world, try to translate your inner changes into outer experiences. Take heed. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back into your physical world what you have become within. And you will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you in your sacred relationship too. So yes, it's about taking our essence, our beauty, our passions, our desires, and creating our world to reflect our inner beauty, our passions, and our dreams. And they come alive in our reality around us and in the people that we support, that we love, that we care for. So yes, the spiritual experience, I think, is understanding that we are all connected. The ancient ones are here to say there's an awakening. And under this influence, there's definitely awakenings for many and growth for many. And I don't think there's a point where you can stop learning and stop growing when it comes to just about anything. But right now we're talking about your spirituality. So it's about growing it and stepping into the adventure and having mystical moments. That's where that mystical moments might have come from. Don't get too optimistic. Don't put on those rose-colored glasses, those rainbow glasses. Don't put the blinders on. Stay alert. Think it through. But this is a time to embrace your dreams, your goals, your desires, your passions. and set your path on fire. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.